stories that connect us to ourselves and each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid, wild colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. And now, exclusively on KGRA Radio, I give you your host for Soul Wanderings Radio. Here's AJ.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome. I am AJ Rasmussen, and this is Soul Wanderings, a show where we receive an opportunity to hear journey stories from humans from all walks of life and all types of experiences. And they show up to share authentic pieces of themselves with all of us. And every week we have a new story. And tonight we'll have several because we are live and we are doing readings tonight. And you can listen in on KGRADB.com. If you want to chat or ask questions, click on the chat button there. And better yet, phone lines will be open after the first break, which means you can call in. And why would you want to call in? Well, our monthly guest, Misty Rose Merck, is here with us tonight, and she's offering her special intuitive readings to all of you. She receives information spiritually and intuitively, and the information is received as thoughts, feelings, emotions, pictures, images, and angels. And these intuitive messages are waiting for you, and you'll receive those messages when you call in this evening, or even if you don't, because there are messages for everyone, if you ask me. But anyone can call in. And when you do call in and get into Misty, like I always say every time she visits us, have an open heart and an open mind, because I feel, and I'm probably sure Misty feels this too, that she does her best work when you're in a space to receive. So some people call in with a specific question. However, when messages come through, when Spirit shares they always will just share what's meant to be shared in this present moment. So I always recommend my favorite way to receive messages, and that's by having her read my energy in the space that I'm in this moment. So like a general reading, just tell me what you're picking up. And I like to be able to hear things from that place in which she gathers her messages. I feel it's the most authentic, and I also feel she shares more, and it leaves me in a place that I have no expectations or hopes of some outcome or answer to look or be a certain way. So just open to hearing what it is that's meant for me. That would be my biggest recommendation if you guys call in for a reading. So my friends, be open and call in tonight. And when you get through, enjoy every single stinking moment you have with her, because it's good. And get ready to take down the number. If you decide not to call in, I hope you do stick around. Again, like I always say, hearing messages from where I sit, I always learn something or can relate in one way or another every single time. I feel that the messages shared can be for most of us. So Wanderers, if you decide to call in, the number you'll be calling in for that gifted reading with Misty is 85-KGRA Live. So that's 855-472-5483. And you can also find the number directly on KGRADB if you missed it. And I'll be sure to repeat the number throughout the show. But we'll be opening those phone lines just after the first break. In the meantime, let me reintroduce or introduce to you for the first time our special guest, Misty Rose Merck. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited. It's a good day.
It's a good day. Misty's over here doing her happy dance in the chair, and she's bright and shiny and sparkly tonight. What is it about you? What's going on? Why are you so sparkly?
Well, as I was telling you earlier, I had energy work done today, and it just helped me to process things that I've been doing. And, we can get to a place where we can do our own work and do things for ourselves. But there are those blind spots that we all have. We can't see our own face without a mirror. And so, when we get to a good place, I think it's about 80-20. We can do 80% of our own facilitation. 20% is mostly having somebody with an outside perspective, making sure we're not fooling ourselves or shying away from something we can do but maybe don't want to do, push us out of our comfort zones a little bit. But I've been on a self-love journey. I mean, you met me after I'd been doing inner work for a little while, working on myself, where I was years ago as an empath who, growing up, didn't know about my gifts and was affected by them. I suffered. I suffered, and I felt a lot of pain, and I had gotten to a place in life where I was just getting through the day. And I was just existing and just trying to make it, till it was time to go to bed. And I had reached a point where I had hit rock bottom. And it was either do something or I wasn't going to make it. When I say I wasn't going to make it, I had grown up suffering from suicidal thoughts, but I never wanted to commit suicide. And I had reached a point where the suffering, it was suffering in my brain with the thoughts that were going on in my head, and suffering in my heart, hurting emotions and a lot of pain. And then I had a lot of physical pain. I had physical ailments. I had undiagnosed, untreated situation in my life, and things were just not good. And I was in a collapse. And I know I'm not the only one. I know it's something that's going on in the world, especially with empathic people who have gifts and don't understand what their experience is and why they're feeling the way they're feeling. And then they cope, developing all kinds of coping mechanisms and addictions, trying to just survive the day. And, that's where I was. And I came to a place where I had a spiritual intervention, because I was sitting there trying to figure out the least painful way to get myself out of pain, the pain of this life, when I had angels come into my room. And at that time, I couldn't physically see. I could feel their presence, and I could feel and see in my mind's eye, and I felt their energy, and it was kind of, as I said, it was an intervention, and I was restored to a point where I could manage where I was again. And then from there, I was pointed in a direction. And at the end of the day, I still had to choose. I had to choose to act on the inspiration that I was given to talk to this person, to go to this class, to read that book, to gain this training and teach myself and learn who I was, what was going on, getting content to explain my life and my experiences, and then how to live with this and move forward in life. And now I'm just in such a beautiful place where I love myself. I have fallen in love with myself. No child ever born hates themselves. Lack of self-love is a learned behavior. Self-hatred is a learned behavior. And the beauty is if you can learn it, you can unlearn it. It takes more effort to stay in something that's not true than it is to be your innate self. And so I just had my birthday this month. I'm getting to celebrate what I love about myself. And I know when I've done readings on the show, one of the things I share with people is only love is spoken here, as in inside of myself, in my mind, in my heart, in my body. I talk to myself as lovingly as I can. And when I catch something that isn't love, I just go, and I love you. I see this. I see what just happened. Mm-hmm. And I love you. And it's going to be okay. We'll figure this out. We'll move from wherever this is to a better place. And I've just changed my whole dialogue so that I have self-confidence. I have self-trust, and from there it changes every interaction you have in the world, because even if you're not telling people about the stuff going on inside of you, and it affects the way you show up. It affects the way you stand. It affects the way the clothes you choose to wear, the colors you wear, the way you do your hair, the way you do makeup, everything. And that's when we engage with people, we think we're hiding things that we're not hiding. It's as plain as the nose on our face, but we're all so busy trying to hide, we pretend not to see. But we're still reacting and engaging with the thing we're ignoring. And so I've just come to a place where, I recently had an interaction where somebody was attacking me as a person and about my gifts. And I recognized their words and their response was about them because I felt so safe in who I am and knowing what I'm about that I knew they didn't know me and they didn't understand who I really am. And then later they apologized because they misunderstood the content. And it's like, well, okay, but if in the past it would have wrecked me. Their response to me would have totally crushed my soul, and I'd have been like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with me, and how do I fix me, and why don't people want me or like me, and all the stories we tell about ourselves that aren't true, that are hurting us constantly. So the sparkle you see in my face today is, it's my birthday month. I am loving myself. I am confident that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. I might just be planting a seed so that you can go find what fits for you. Maybe I'm opening up your horizons and inspiring you to explore your reality. That's fine with me. Each of us, we're here for somebody. And those somebodies will find us and we'll find them. And on the way, we're going to find other people's people. And maybe in bumping into us, it helps them direct themselves to their person. So I'm just excited. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot to be depressed about. I grew up with depression. It's not something I've completely been able to release and be free of, but it's definitely not something that's dictating and controlling my life anymore. And so happiness is self-created. Other people can't make us happy, and it's not their job to either. That's our job. And the reality is the more I get behind the steering wheel and drive my ship, the more success I have getting where I want to go and experiencing what I want to experience. So, that I know the happier I become, the more quality people start showing up in my life. I have you. I have a best friend. Growing up as a kid, I didn't have a lot of friends. And I tell my friend she was worth the wait because she's so amazing. She's like the best friend ever. And I just feel so sorry for everybody else in the world because they don't get to have her. I do.
Love those besties.
Right? Yeah, she keeps my husband alive all the time.
I'm not sure what that's about, but
it's the sanity factor. Girls need a girlfriend. Guys need their guy friends. That way when we come back to our husbands and our wives, we're like, oh, I love you. Oh, goodness. Anyway, gotta love it. Gotta have a sense of humor.
I had to look over at your husband because he's here hanging out with us, and I like to see his reactions to what you have to say sometimes. It's cute.
He loves me. He's got a great sense of humor. So, we harass the heck out of each other.
That's what it's all about. Gotta keep it interesting, no doubt.
Yes.
I love the parts where you share with us that you love who you are now. What a journey that is for all of us to come to that moment where we are really delighted with who we are. And some of us don't ever get there, unfortunately. I know for me, for everybody, but I can't speak for everybody. For me personally, I've had a long road of disliking myself. And being on the flip side of that is very freeing. Very
Yeah.
freeing.
But
And
very
it took
common.
a long time. A really long time to get there. But it's so neat. Like, thank you for sharing that, because we all are capable and deserve our love for ourselves.
Yeah, I read a book, Loving What Is by Byron Katie.
Yes,
I think
that's
she's
great.
so cute because you think her last name is her first name and her first name's her last name, but she says it's nobody's job to love me but me.
Exactly.
And what I've told people is while we're busy trying to get other people's love, we're not home. It's like we've left our house and our home is empty. And so, of course, it doesn't feel warm and loving in there until we step back in.
Yeah.
Because we're what makes that home warm and loving. And while we're outside of ourselves, we're like Swiss cheese. Other people are busy loving us, but it's got all these holes it's passing through. It's got nothing to stick to. When we start loving ourselves, everything starts becoming enough because now their love has something to stick to. It's like icing on the cake. It's just a beautiful topper, but it's not needed. It's enjoyed. Totally different energies and perspectives.
Very much so. What do you feel about when you're looking for love outside of yourself, the expectations that occur?
Well,
because I think that's something that happens, and then we're never satisfied with the love that we're receiving because we're always expecting it to be something that we want it to be, when the answer and the power is already there within ourselves.
Like Dorothy, it's what's with you all along.
Yeah.
The way I describe it
exactly.
to people is this: how much of yourself is never externally expressed, regardless of the intimacy and the depth and length of a relationship.
Yeah.
How much is never externally expressed? Quite a bit.
Tons, yes.
So how are they supposed to get it right?
Exactly.
How are they supposed to know to tick every single box we have when we don't express every single box? And so then, of course, it's not going to be enough. It's always going to fall short. The only one that can tick all those boxes is our self-love, is ourselves. Because we're the only one, besides whatever our higher power is, that knows everything about us. I mean, my husband, he gets this side of me and these aspects of me. My best friend gets these. And there's a lot of overlap, but there's a lot of things that are separate. You and in my friendship, you get these parts of me that I share with you. And there's a lot of overlap, but there's still things that are unique to this relationship I have with you as opposed to those other relationships. And so when we can stop needing them to fill our home because we do it ourselves, now we just get to enjoy the full expression of whatever we're giving and they're giving and how that comes together and creates this new thing, which is a totally different way of being in a relationship and enjoying a relationship. If I don't need you to tick those boxes, then when you don't tick those boxes, it stops being insufficient and it's just a beautiful expression.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
I thought you were done. I can see you, and I'm typing in the chat room and I'm looking at you. The beautiful thing is, yes, it is. It's an expression within ourselves. And when we come to that awareness and that knowing, that's what I'm saying, the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing right there.
It is. It's when we can know
when
that
we are aware of that love for ourselves is within ourselves and always has been. It's incredible. It's ineffable. It's just magical. All of those words.
Yeah. But one of the stumbling blocks to that is humility. Is people think it's narcissistic, and You know, self-hatred is the ultimate self-focus. You want to talk narcissism?
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
That's a way to put it.
Well, if we can't think of human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't get it in a positive way, think of a little child who doesn't get positive attention. They get negative attention.
Right.
Then they'll misbehave because it's attention.
Right. They're getting it still the same.
In their mindset, they're still getting attention. Now, it's not healthy. It's not good for them, but it's attention.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not supposed to, be, boast about ourselves or be excited about ourselves or any of those things that have all this negative connotation because it's not being humble, then what is another way that we can have self-focus or draw attention to ourselves or pay attention to ourselves? Self-hatred. We start criticizing ourselves. Because what are you waiting for somebody to do? Oh, no, you're beautiful. Oh, no, you're sweet. Oh, no, you're kind.
That makes so much sense.
Right?
Yes. I mean, it's obvious, right? But we don't see that, and we don't understand it until it's in our face. Like,
and the beauty is once you've seen it, you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it.
No.
That's the thing. That's the ticket right there.
Yeah, I have a friend.
Once you know, you cannot unknow.
You cannot unknow. She does energy work, and I got that from her. Self-hatred is the ultimate self-focus. That's narcissism on steroids.
And think energetically, energy-wise, how much damage that's doing to us.
Oh, yeah.
On
Definitely.
So many levels.
Well, because it's untrue.
Right.
It's out of truth.
Right. And it creates so many problems. It creates diseases. Like eating disorders and drug addictions and whatever that looks like. It creates all of these unnecessary experiences. Now, I say unnecessary because everything happens,
well,
in divine
we create
timing.
The reality we want to engage with.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just interesting how it shows up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. When we're unable to get it in a healthy way, we'll get it in an unhealthy way.
We'll get it one way
or the other.
One way
or another.
I knew that was coming.
I know, it's because we just got done talking about 80s and 90s music.
Well, there's a song for everything, and
definitely.
And when I'm not on the radio, I'm like that. I'm that person, that annoying person. When someone, well, that's why we're friends. This is why we get along so well. And I have to find the appropriate times too, because I'm very inappropriate. Because I want to bust out in song and dance when someone's having a very serious conversation, but I want to sing the song that goes with the conversation.
Yes, because they said a trigger word,
yes,
which is a key phrase from a song, from the chorus line of a song. So you have to. It's like one of those TV shows.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're acting like we're off air. Get back. We're back on air. We're actually on air right now.
We're just adding a little levity to the heavy topic of self-hatred.
It is a heavy topic, but it doesn't have to be. And really, I say it's not necessary, but in some people's experience it is, so that they can have that growth experience for sure. There's no doubt about that. But it's just unfortunate that's what it is. Because that's something that we have control over. That's not something someone's doing to us or for us. It is something we're doing to ourselves.
Well, the reality is all of the things we're experiencing, we are to a degree doing to ourselves. Even the beautiful things we're doing to ourselves. I mean, we're constantly making choices. Those choices are providing results.
Mm-hmm.
And different things are happening.
Yes, as they do.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, we're going to go to our first break. That means after break, the phone lines are open. So if you're interested in receiving an intuitive reading with our guest, Misty Rose Merck, now is the time. You'll want to call us at 85KGRA Live. So that's 855-472-5483. And we will catch you on the flip side.
A birthday without her mom, an anniversary without her husband, her wedding day without her dad. These are the days when military families feel it most of all. The loss of their soldier, their sailor, their airman, their Marine, their Coast Guardsman. Families never forget their loved ones lost to war or illness or suicide. Families never forget. And neither do we. We are TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. We provide resources, support, and comfort to heal the hearts and meet the needs of grieving military families, all at no cost to them. Your generosity can make an enormous difference in the lives of the families of our fallen military heroes. Our military families need to know they are not alone and they are not forgotten. Show them your support at TAPS.org.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. GetTheTea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years, and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's GetTheTea.com. GetTheTea.com. The tea that makes you go.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood. Whether it's a natural disaster or one single child suffering from illness, the American Red Cross stands ready to supply blood when it's most needed. But blood is a perishable product. Therefore, it must continuously be replenished. You can safely donate blood every 56 days. The need is constant and patients are waiting. Call your American Red Cross at 1-800-GIVE-LIFE to schedule your life-saving appointment. Please give blood today. Patients are depending on you.
The Liberator Rocket Heater will heat your home for free. The highly efficient Liberator Rocket Heater has no moving parts. It's safe and strong, constructed of 1/4-inch steel. So like all things made in the USA, it's built to last. Uses any kind of wood, sticks, even scrap in its gravity-fed firebox. And it heats workshops, homes, garages, outbuildings, industrial areas, and barns. Watch the video of this blast furnace stove in action. Visit RocketHeater.com. That's RocketHeater.com.
Mainstream media's most wanted. KGRARadio.com.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to the show. This is AJ Rasmussen. Hello. And our guest tonight is Misty Rose Merck here on Soul Wandering. We are opening or have opened up the phone lines if you're interested in calling and receiving a gifted reading from our guest, Misty Rose Merck. 85KGRA Live is the number you'll want to call. That's 855-472-5483. And in the meantime, we're going to hang out. And then when we get a call, we'll be sure to get you through and receive that special reading from our guest. Misty, you're on one tonight, and I love it.
It's a good one to be on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good roll. A happy day. I won't break out into... I was going to, but I was refraining. I won't sing anymore, I promise.
Well, I really enjoy it. I'm not sure what the listeners will think.
Well, I'm not a singer. I can carry a note on my back, not necessarily in vocal, but
Yeah, that was not one of the gifts I received in this lifetime, and that's okay.
dang it.
I can break a dance floor. I got some dance moves. I wasn't built with all these curves for nothing.
Honestly, I'm of the mindset that I wasn't necessarily built for singing and dancing, but since I'm doing it for my own enjoyment, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it is. And back to worrying about what other people are doing, how they're feeling our cups. I think people are a little different nowadays, but I know when I was growing up, I was actually on dance team. I did all the dance stuff. And it's nerve-wracking. Like, you put yourself out there to be judged and criticized and critiqued, like all of the things. And I think now, as my adult self, oh my gosh, no, that is not what was I thinking? There's like this switch that's occurred in me as I've gotten older, that being out in front of an audience is terrifying. Like, there's no way I would do that. However, if someone's like, I feel like going out dancing tonight, let's go, I'm like, game on. Because I don't feel like they're there to like spotlight me dancing, but I love to dance. And it's medicinal.
Oh, of course it is.
I mean, so good.
Look at how much cultures and traditions and even some religions, they incorporate song and dance. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason. The body was made to move. It was just like your mind was made to think thoughts. Your heart was made to feel feelings.
Yeah.
And so song and dance has long been a way of self-expression when words are insufficient or you don't even know how to use the words. It's like art. It's the same thing.
I do it almost every day. Kitchen dance parties, random dance moves in the middle of awkward conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I wiggle in my seat when I'm eating something good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thing.
Yeah. It's a way to be, a happy way.
I'm not sure if I even finished what my thought was in regards to the whole dance thing and loving yourself. But that was definitely part of my process, is letting go of that inner critic of myself and not giving a care about what anyone thought of how I was acting, how I was being, because I felt good and I wasn't hurting anyone.
Yeah. The thing about doing something in a scenario like a competition is to do it because you love doing it, understanding that other people are going to have feedback. That's part of the experience.
Right.
But not taking that feedback as something's wrong with you.
Yes.
The feedback is in their opinion, because at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Exactly.
Is they have an opinion, and there can be a unified opinion through several judges, but it's an opinion based off of their experience and their preferences.
Exactly.
And so that feedback, if you can look at the feedback as, this is an opportunity to grow and build on what I have, and not take it as a tear down, as in tear yourself apart because something's wrong with you. If it's the approach. If you can go in a place of, what are they sharing that I can make use of to expand what I already have? Then I think you can have a very beautiful experience. And mind you, some people go into those environments and they're not in the best place. And so the way they give feedback is not healthy. And that's not your fault.
No.
That's where they are.
Yes.
And then you run into things like favoritism and cheating. And at the end of the day, people are human. And they're going to create learning experiences for themselves and other people. Do you personalize it? Or do you view it from a place of a shared experience, and you get to decide how that affects you and how you move through it and past it?
Yeah, and that is definitely something I feel like we learn over time through whatever experiences that we have. It's not something that people automatically do, by no means. At least I haven't met a human who has.
Things are easier said than done at times.
A lot easier said than done.
I mean, it's practice, though. The reality is I thought about this today because I was struggling with having some negative thoughts. And mind management, it's hard work. But the thing is where I am, I learned to be where I am, and it just became the way I did things.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know a different way until I did. And once I knew there was a different way, developing that, it's hard work at first. That's why a lot of times, even though we want change, we don't create change because it's hard work.
Yeah.
Creating that change is understanding that what I'm doing isn't working and I want something different. And then it's becoming conscious and consciously, repetitiously making the same choice to create the new way, because anything you're doing is habit, muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when you're first learning to walk, that's a lot of work and it takes time.
Right.
But at this point in your life, you've done it so much beyond thinking, I want to go over there. Do you think of the mechanics of walking and the effort and trying to move this leg and that leg?
Mm-hmm.
Unless something happens, like you're in a car accident or something, that you have to relearn to do it all over, then you just go on autopilot. Because you have built so much muscle memory, you don't have to put any effort other than deciding, I want to go over there. So all that is if you start getting into the science of the woo-woo, which is your brain has all of these neurons and pathways, your habit is just a well-used pathway in your brain. And what happens when you start to release an old habit and create a new habit is it's developing a new neural pathway. And the old neural pathway, the less you use it, it starts to shrink.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you use the new one, the stronger it becomes. And that's how your brain is releasing old habits and creating new ones.
Yeah.
So there's science behind the woo-woo.
There actually is.
There actually is.
Well, because for centuries we've been trying to debunk it. We've been trying to prove to ourselves that it's not real.
Well, look at throughout history. We see a lot of polarization, or think of like a pendulum, and it'll swing far to one side and far to the other. So you get these extremes. We're here having experiences, and as a part of the human journey in life is to grow, to expand self-knowledge, self-awareness, and awareness of our environment and those things in our environment. So in history, look at man was on the very spiritual side of the spectrum, and then it started to swing into, science and all these other different things. So we went from there is a God to there's no God. And now from that other extreme, science is starting to say maybe there is a God after all. Some science is even saying science corroborates that there is a God. So it's going from one extreme to the other and then coming into balance. The same thing in the past, we had a lot of matriarchal society, and then we went into this patriarchal society, and now we're starting to come back and go the divine sacred feminine and re-embracing that, the aspect of the matriarch energy of life and the world and the family and different things. And so many extremes, we're exploring our reality and deciding how it all comes together in balance.
Mm-hmm.
We went and started over abusing. We were very nature based. Then we abused nature. Now we're coming back to nature.
Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
It's about time.
Definitely.
It's about time. We have the phone lines open, friends. So if you're interested in receiving an intuitive reading with our guest, Misty Rose Merck, You'll want to call 855-472-5483. That's 85KGRA Live. And we do have a caller on hold. I'm going to bring her in. Hello, Mandy. Thank you for calling into the show. How are you this evening?
Hello. I'm well.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
Wonderful. Misty is here. She's ready to connect with you. Do you have a question for her, or would you like her to just pick up on your energy and give you a reading?
Just pick up on what you got. What's the message?
Hi, Mandy. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for calling in. So, you have a very interesting energy. There's so there's this really gentle side, and then there's this very deep like, just makes me think, it kind of made me think of my aunt, because she has this similar, like, she's a fighter. She doesn't like fighting, but if she has to, she will. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But she's a sweetheart. And so but she will fight for the underdog. She doesn't like to see people being picked on. And so this is kind of like what I feel in you is just, you have a very sweet heart. You're very kind, but you also will not put up with certain things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then it kind of feels a little challenging right now. Like there's some challenges coming up for you. Would that be accurate?
Me and the rest of the world, yes.
Okay. Well, not just in a kind of like the COVID thing and everything else, but it feels like there's some personal, because what it feels like is standing on solid ground, and then that ground starts shifting. Like things that foundational things in life for you have come into question, because it feels like you have some choices in front of you. Is this making sense?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Because what I'm seeing is being on solid ground and things getting shaky, and then I see a fork in the road. And for me, that just is meaning you have some choices to make. Some of these choices, it feels like you have time to think about, but other choices feels like there's a ticking clock, like time is of the essence. Would that be accurate?
Yes, and not sure which fork in the road we're talking about, because there's been plenty.
Okay, well, in this context, whatever's been on your mind most recently, because that's generally kind of what starts showing up, is whatever's weighing on you at this moment, whatever's kind of going on in life for you at this moment. And that's what starts to come up in a reading, is whatever's most important to you at that time. So it feels like there's other people involved in this choice, kind of in your decision making. Not necessarily that they have a say in the decision, but your decision is going to affect more than just you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so, and it feels like there's some kind of stress and worry, or maybe hemming and hawing about how to make the decision, because it will affect other people besides yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so, because it feels like your mind is worrying and gnawing at this, and but your heart knows the right answer. It knows the best choice. But you're not quite listening to what you feel to do, because you're worrying over the outcome with other people. Does this make sense?
Yes.
And so I this is what I feel. I feel you're kind of pretty certain you know what the answer, like what choice is, because it's more than one choice. I feel like you know what choices to make, and you've just been procrastinating because of that worry. But I feel your heart, when you're listening to your heart, you're right on the money. And it's not that things will work out perfectly. It just means they're going to work out the best way possible. Meaning there might be some scrapes and bruises, but you're going to get the best outcome possible by listening to what your heart's been telling you. Because I feel like it's been waking you up at night, telling you this is what you've got to do. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So is this resonating for you?
Yes.
Okay. So I feel that you don't have all of the information, and that's why some of the choices are not as time sensitive. But begin making those time sensitive choices now, and the information that you need to then make the successive choices will come to you. And it's not going to look like a straight road. There's a little zigzagging in this. It's navigating because you are dealing with other people's situations in making these choices. It's really funny because I just see I don't know, obstacle course where there's that kind of curves around these different obstacles. So it's not that you've got to beat your head against something to get through it. You can go around. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
Is this helpful?
It is helpful. Thank you.
So the one thing that I feel is to sit. I don't know if you do meditation or prayer, something that helps you get centered in yourself so that you can be as open to listening to the guided inspiration you're getting and your heart's telling you to get as clear as possible. And then just whatever doubts and worries show up, just recognize what in those thoughts are within the realm of your being able to do something about and what isn't. And the things that come up into your mind that are stressing you, that you have no control over, do whatever you can to release that. And then what you can do something about, start taking action on to resolve so that you can decrease the stress and the worry going on in your mind. Does that make sense?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Was this helpful?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much for calling into the show.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful night, dear.
Have a beautiful rest of the night. Yes. Thank you. Bye.
When you give these callers readings, a lot of times I hear you share similar messages.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, well, I know we're all connected, right? We all have this connection to each other, and we're all going through very similar experiences. And that's part of the reason why I say when people call in and you're giving them these readings, it will resonate with so many of us because we're all going through our own experiences, and those messages that you're giving could resonate or be true for just about anyone, even though their experiences are different.
Yes. Yes. And then when I read people, I can only give as much as they're willing to receive. and at what level they're willing to receive. And then there becomes the dynamic of, in this environment, and you're talking about such a short time frame, it's hard to start getting more in depth with a little more personal things. And then there's also, let's face it, there's a vulnerability factor when you're in this environment. I think people are more willing to be open and vulnerable, but to a degree, because it is in such a public arena. And so all of these factors come together to influence the kind of readings that happen. It's just like the readings that I do at the group events in your store. It's a much smaller group, so more intimate or private things can surface. But even in that environment, there's still a little bit of a, I don't want to say a limitation, but it's the only word I can think of, because it is a public arena and venue. And so it does affect things. But again, it all boils down to where people are and what they're ready for.
It's true. In the past, I've received readings, even from you, where I knew what you were saying could be true, but I wasn't ready to accept it to be fully true. I wasn't there yet. And so I put the information on a shelf. And when I had an experience or experiences, I remembered what you had shared with me and pulled that little item off the shelf and reviewed it again. And it helped me in that moment. It was something that resonated with me right then and there. Whereas before I wasn't ready to see it. My sunglasses are on.
Well, the other thing too is because a lot of the way I get information, it's in these symbols and little snippets of content that I'm trying to put together to make a comprehensive or understandable statement or experience. And so in the English language alone, how many words can you use to say something's beautiful?
Right.
And the word you would use isn't necessarily the same word I would use, but we're both trying to say the same thing. And so, a lot of times I'm sharing content, and it's not until somebody shares the story that then that content makes sense to me. Because, I'm sitting and talking about somebody's choices. I don't know what the choices are. And sometimes I'll get, if it's relevant, I'll get, okay, there's more people involved than just you in this, or there's a time sensitivity to this, or, I get this clock feeling, like a stopwatch kind of thing. And so it just depends. It depends. And it's interesting to see when someone shares with me, okay, well, this is how that connects for me. Then it makes sense. But before then, for me, I'm just got all these puzzle pieces and I'm presenting them to you because they're your puzzle pieces. Does this make sense? Can you understand this reference? And can you make connections with this? That's why whenever I do any reading, I tell people I'm interpreting what I get. So if I share something that doesn't seem to fit, do not make it.
Right.
I'm not let's see how we can make the content fit person. Because I trust that whatever comes up, what you need, you're going to get what serves you best out of this. So what fits that you can connect with, not just understand what I say, but see how you make those personal connections to the information, because that's when you're going to get the insights and ahas that you're looking for.
Yeah. And you really just need to be aware of what you're sharing and being open to what you're sharing, even if it doesn't resonate. Because, even I know with a lot of readings I've had, I'm looking at, like, I had a reading. I was on Facebook once, and they were doing readings on air, and I was just in the, in the chat, and just, they said, pick a number. I picked a number. She shared a message, and it did not resonate with me. Not at all. And it's okay. Like, I was just like, okay, well, thanks for your time anyway, right? But then you get away from the situation and you think about it now. Wait, it wasn't that I was trying to make it fit. It's just in that moment, you're just not in that headspace. Like, it's not something that was in my face right there. But when I looked back at it, it was like, oh yeah, that did happen a few weeks ago. That happened a few weeks ago. That's not where I'm at now. But that doesn't mean the reading was inaccurate. It just means that that energy obviously was still lingering with me. So she picked up on it. Even though I'd already been through the situation, I was over with it, I moved on. That's what she picked up. So that's one thing also, is when I say the reading isn't always for us right here and right now, although most times it can be and is. It could just be that lingering energy, or energy that's coming to you that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Sometimes I have people and they go, okay. And then they come back later and say, well, this then happened, and that's how this came together for me. And what you said, I, wasn't sure here, but later it was like so obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it is too. Our phone lines are open, everyone. We're going to take our next break, and when we get back, if you want to get a reading, you'll want to call and get in line. The number to call us is 855-472-5483, and we'll be right back after these short messages. Stay close.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. But you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with, you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Permanent industrial glue impossible to remove? Not anymore, because Handyman Formula by D-Bond is a patented chemical adhesive remover. It's used in the building and home maintenance industry, but now it's available for your home use, for your DIY projects. Unglue stickers, silicone rubber, labels, price tags, flex tape, weather stripping, carpet glue, wood glue, liquid nails, even 3M 5200. And it dissolves graffiti. Yeah, graffiti. Handyman Formula by D-Bond works, and it's safe to use on most surfaces. No need to call a professional. Don't get out the pliers and blowtorch. Just apply a little Handyman Formula by D-Bond and wait 90 seconds, then quickly and easily pull the items apart. Get unstuck. Visit DBondHandymanFormula.com. That's DBondHandymanFormula.com, or call 561-575-4200. Handyman Formula by D-Bond.
Welcome to the new KGRA digital broadcasting website, thekgradb.com. Here you'll find great new content, including the KGRA Classics, great shows from our archives. You'll be able to see the show times and information so you can see what show is currently on air. The on-air live button. So just go to this section and you'll be able to hear the show live with exceptional sound quality. We also have the Vault section. Make sure to subscribe to get access to great content and special features. We have the make content for our latest news and events, so make sure to sign up and you can be part of our forum. So make sure to check out the new KGRA digital broadcasting website, thekgradb.com. We look forward to seeing you there, and we hope that you enjoy the new website.
Now you have the inside contact for Alternative Talk Radio. The Planet. KGRARadio.com.
Hello, you are listening to Soul Wanderings on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Hudson Valley, New York. We have the phone lines open for readings tonight with our guest, Misty Rose Merck. We do have callers on hold, but we may be able to squeeze in more. Who knows? If you're interested, you can give it a try at 85KGRA Live. That's 855-472-5483 if you desire reading. We love when Misty visits us. Misty is an intuitive reader here who shares space with me over in my shop at Vibes Mind Body Spirit. If you're interested in learning more about Vibes, visit vibesnow.com. That's VIBEZ.com. It's a fun little shop that I co-own and operate. It's my home away from home. And Misty does intuitive group readings there. She receives information spiritually and intuitively, and the information is received as thoughts, feelings, emotions, pictures, images, and angels. And we have callers on the line, so we're going to get right into it. First caller on hold. Hello, Amanda from Nova Scotia. Welcome to the show.
Hi, AJ. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for calling in. Do you have a question for Misty, or would you like her to read your energy in this moment?
If there's any general message she's getting, sure.
Okay.
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, Misty. I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for taking my
call.
So
is that in Nova Scotia? Is that in Canada?
It is.
It is. Cool.
Very, very cold.
So, okay. You're like a teddy bear on steroids.
I love it when you say that.
She is. You just have the biggest heart and a heart of gold. You're just such a sweetheart. And you have, goodness. So, it's funny. You feels like your nature is a optimistic, glass is half full, but you're feeling like a glass is half empty. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I can go back and forth, yeah.
But it's like your nature is very buoyant, very happy, very easygoing. And then there's this where it feels like life is dragging on you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then it feels like, so like your happy nature, it feels like there's times where you're like, you want to be happy, but it's like there's something energetically making it feel hard to do, and you can't put your finger on it. Does this make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
So what I feel from you is that you're an empath. Do you know this?
I sometimes feel that way.
Okay, well, you feel like an empath. Your energy, you feel very empathic. And so what it is that I feel is happening is when you're feeling down and nothing, like there's no specific event in your personal life that points to why you feel down, that just kind of like you just feel dragged down, feel like your energy can't quite get going. And that's because of the empathic side of you, or the way you're experiencing being an empath. Does this make sense?
Yeah. Is there anything I can do about that? to relieve some of the depression.
One, I would say, how much do you understand about being an empath?
Not much, just from shows I've heard, like AJ's.
So the very first thing is for you to learn what an empath is, because there are different gifts that empaths have, and one of them is emotions is the cornerstone of the gift of being an empath. But there is a kind of a gift I don't quite know how to put into words other than absorbing emotions and being sensitive to emotions and feeling emotions. So it's like you are feeling, just as an empath in general, you're feeling other people's emotions, okay? And that's why sometimes the way you feel doesn't correlate to your experience. When this is happening, that's just a sign to you, okay, well, I'm taking on something that isn't me. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Now, there's another part of being an empath and connecting with feeling, and I think it's called clairsentience. And clair is just a French word meaning clear, and what that is clear feeling. So this is a type of gift that an empath can have, which involves feeling emotions in all kinds of ways, and one also feeling through touch. And so there are times when you go to touch people because you want to comfort them, and then there's times when you don't want to be touched because you're overwhelmed. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So another thing is learning how to take care of yourself as an empath. So researching and learning about empathic gifts and abilities. From there, it's figuring out what that looks like for you, because there's a lot of people with clairsentience, but how it expresses in you is a unique experience, and there can be similarities, but you're wanting to personalize the content. So it's going through a self-discovery journey. It's just doing some research, and then from there, how does it apply to you as an individual? Then as an empath, I mean, just as a human, we need a level of self-care, but as an empath, there's a type of self-care. So taking care of yourself, period, is highly important. But as an empath, what an empath is doing is engaging with energy, especially emotional energy. And emotions are energy and motion. And so you're wanting to learn how to manage your energy and how to process, allowing energy to flow through you and around you without draining you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I struggle with, is how to deal with all the negative energy I'm picking up around me.
It's like an energetic roller coaster ride is what I feel like. Like you have energy, you're drained. You have energy, you're drained. Another thing that's going on, so you're talking about negative energy, is you've got what's called energetic vampirism. And that's where people either are drawing our energy or we're just giving it away because we don't have boundaries. We don't have healthy boundaries in place. Does this make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
And as an empath, when you don't understand your gifts, you end up in the affected realm, meaning you're being affected by them. We want to move you from affected to thrive, which is you understand your gifts, you know how to manage them, you know how to take care of yourself, you know you've got healthy boundaries. Because as an empath, one of your abilities is you see beyond what people portray. You can see their real emotion besides the mask they're wearing. You also, another gift that you have is you can see what people tell you. Does that make sense? It's like somebody starts telling you about their experience and you get these little snapshots like Polaroids in your mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so another thing that you have is you have a BS detector. You can tell when people are lying. You may not know the lie, but you know something's not right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now what's happened is you second guessed yourself because you didn't know what the lie was. Because sometimes what also happens, because you know truth, when people are lying to themselves, you can even pick up on that. So, but what ends up happening is when you don't know the content, then you second guess yourself, and then later you found out that you were right on. Does that make sense?
Wow, yeah.
So it's trust your gut, because there's different gifts with empaths. Empaths is an umbrella term, and you've got a powerful gift of discernment, meaning knowing truth. Now, when that energy, think of the yin and yang symbol, passes through faith, love, and trust, that's how it shows up as discernment. When it's passing through the filters of pain, fear, and doubt, it becomes judgment. That's when you find yourself getting judgy, you've been triggered by pain, fear, or doubt.
That makes sense.
And that's just a different expression of this kind of superpower you have, which is discernment, meaning you know truth. That's why there's lots of times you go to, I don't know, you went to school or you go to some place and something is being presented to you, and you don't need to know all of the details because you just know it's true or it isn't. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, a lot of what you said makes sense.
You have these different gifts, and what that's put you in this position of, you're also very, because you're such a teddy bear, like you have such a caring heart, you almost have a bleeding heart, meaning you take on project people, as in you're going to help them, fix them, rescue them.
I try to help, yeah. I try to help if I can, yeah.
Well, the thing is you can help. As an empath, you can help. But because you've been operating from this lack of knowledge place, what ends up happening is it's help in unhealthy ways. So you're trying to help people, but some of these people aren't ready to change. So then what happens is you're getting drained trying to help them, but then they stay kind of almost in the same position they were before you helped. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's
that
just,
makes sense.
The more you begin this journey of self-discovery of as far as your gifts, you're going to start seeing some of these kind of, we'll say dysfunction. You'll see the dysfunction of how you've been trying to use your gifts without understanding that was what was going on. And you're going to see where you've been giving energy away, trying to do what you can do, but not knowing how. It's like, I know I can cook, but while I haven't completely developed all of the skills, I can go in and make things that I can eat, but aren't necessarily taste great. It's that kind of thing. So education is really important, because I feel like you've got a good base of a good base of people around you, but there's some other people around you that are in a user energy, and they're taking advantage of your kindness, your sweetness, the desire to help. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. So focus on the gift and boundaries and how to use it effectively.
Yeah. Because the thing is you can help people, but they have to want to change. They have to want to different from what they have. And right now there's a couple of people that are in your more intimate sphere of influence who they like how much you help them, but they don't want to actually change. And it becomes almost like a broken record playing over and over and over.
Okay.
Is that making sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
But I feel like you've got some really good, healthy people around you, too. And that's why these people who are in this user energy haven't completely collapsed under the strain of that. Because you've got this other balance on the other side of some people that you feel really good with that are kind of buoying you up, and then you go back into the trenches.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, you're I really feel like you're in a really good place. I feel like you've got this precipice of some like catalyst to coming into the awareness. Like something's coming that's going to educate you, that's going to help you become aware of who you are. And from that place, a lot of things are going to start making sense. There's like light bulb after light bulb going off. And then you're going to be presented with, what direction do I want to go? Because I feel like there's things that you've been wanting, but you haven't given yourself permission to dream the dream yet in detail. So they've just been out there kind of ideas. But as this cornerstone piece of knowing yourself comes into play, then what do I want for myself? You're going to give yourself permission to answer that. Does this make sense?
Yeah, that sounds very exciting. Is this going to happen within the next year, or is there? I don't want to be too impatient, but
now understanding choice, you always have a choice, is the determining factor for everything in life. Mm-hmm. But I feel like things are in a month's window, less than 6 months. Like the bringing that kind of the catalyst to you saying yes to a book, a conversation, a class. I mean, something is coming that's going to help you start understanding who you are as an empath. And that's going to be a catalyst that's going to start bringing all these different things into play. Does this make sense?
Wonderful, yeah.
Was this helpful?
It was. It was very inspiring. I have a lot to look forward to this year. Thank you for taking your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in, Amanda. You have a beautiful night.
Thank you, AJ. Happy day.
You too, dear. Thank you. I love Happy Day.
Oh, Happy Day.
She's a sweetheart. So that was interesting. Another interesting reading. We have another caller on the line coming up next, but just to touch on that a little bit, there's a lot of empaths that call into the show. And I feel like every single time you're here, we have at least one or two who don't understand the weight that they're carrying is because they are an empath and they aren't understanding of that or unaware of what that even means.
Yeah. And I mean, the way I use the different analogies to help kind of bring insight into what an empath is everybody's born with intelligence, and that intelligence can be increased and decreased by choice. And then you have someone born with a high level of intelligence, and we call them a genius. When every human being's born with emotional intelligence, and that can be increased and decreased by choice. And when someone's born with a high level, we call them an empath. And the reality is there are some people who are born empathic, and there are other people who a catalyst of life experience has happened, and it increases their level of emotional intelligence. And it's a gift that can be turned on and developed.
Yes.
Just like I know there's books out there that talk about developing psychic abilities and mediumship abilities. I mean, we're talking about humans as though this exists in one person and not at all in another.
Right.
Artistic talent, there's varying levels of it. I was looking at a instructional video, and it said, if you can write, you can draw. Because drawing is just a series of lines and circles. But we're so critical, self-critical, self-judgmental and all that other stuff that we keep ourselves from those versions of self-expression and developing those abilities.
Right.
Because we worry of what someone's going to say or think or do.
Oh, that fear.
Mm-hmm.
That fear. Oh, it can be so overbearing if we're not aware. Let's bring in our next caller to keep them from being on hold any further. Let's welcome Shakai from Utah to the show. Hello, Shakai.
Hello.
Thank you for your patience in holding. We are ready for you to connect with Misty. Do you have a specific question for her, or would you like her to read your energy and where you're at right now?
I guess if I had a specific question, it would be about maybe, well, I'm just entering a transition here. I'm wondering if I'm going to get the job that I just applied for. So if that's a little bit too specific, then I guess she could just read up the energy of what's going on. So, yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot going on in your energy. There's not just one, like, I know that's a thing on your mind, but
yeah.
So okay, do me a favor and just take a really deep breath. Because you're really open, which means there's a lot of content and your energy is so big. It's just moving so fast. I've got to get things to slow down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like being on a merry-go-round that's just spinning too fast.
That's fair.
So
okay.
it's there's a lot of changes happening in your life right now. And I know we're talking earlier with someone that like global changes and stuff in the world, but it feels like there's a lot of personal changes happening for you. And it feels like you're coming into your own. Does this make sense?
Yes.
It feels like you're starting to come into a place where there were things that you knew about yourself and you were really good with it. Like you're okay with that knowledge and everything. But now it feels like you're moving from a place of knowing things about yourself to owning things about yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because it feels like you're a catalyst for change. Like your energy, your soul is a catalyst for change. And that you're here to help people move from the old ways into new ways of doing things. And that you have a very strong leader personality, but you lead from a place of such love and like bearing witness. Does this make sense?
Yes. Yes.
And so it feels like I would say within the last couple of years, you knew these things about yourself, and there was a little part of you that was a little bit in resistance to it. But it feels like now that resistance is melted, and you're becoming comfortable in your own skin, so to speak. Does this make sense?
Yes.
And so, what I would say is, part of you is still trying to create from your head, meaning. Kind of like it feels a little bit like with this job, you are thinking more from your head than what your heart is guiding you. And so I would sit and be clear what your heart says. Your brain is a wonderful tool and it does help you to focus and filter and create. But first get the inspiration, like let your heart lead the way, and then your mind becomes the tool of how to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because it feels like there's still some overthinking on some things where you're making decisions more based off of thinking than what you feel in your heart. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
And so it's just okay, so one of the beautiful things about you is you're a quick manifester. You're somebody who can manifest things quickly and in big ways. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And so the clearer you become in whatever it is that you decide you want to create, the quicker things manifest for you and the better they manifest. As in, you have more of what you want and less of what you don't want. Is this making sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so it feels like there are some things that you're starting to be like comfortable in your own skin and becoming clear on, but there's some things that you want for yourself that you're still not clear. Like some of the things that you want is what you think you should do and not necessarily what you feel to do. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
And so it's, there's different ways to do it. Some people, they'll write a life book. Some people will write a life vision, like a vision of my life from here to my future. And so, being very spiritually connected the way you are, yes, we don't want to limit what spirit and God and creator can do. But it's a co-creation. And so it's not just about waiting to be told or have it, laid out for us, so much as co-creating together what we want to create. And you're somebody, because you're such a powerful manifester, you're not just manifesting things on a personal level. You're capable of manifesting things on a global level, meaning you influence the energy of the world. A lot of people, every human being does, but we do it to different degrees. And you're somebody that your energy has the ability, like what comes to my mind is this young little girl in, I don't know, is it Sweden? And she went and skipped school to go protest in front of her capital about, I think it was global warming or something of that nature. And what she did is she brought awareness and she got people to join her. It went from just her protesting to thousands of people to globally people were protesting to try and get their lawmakers and leaders to become proactive and start making decisions today to change things for the future. And that's what I feel around you, is the ability to have a vision or an inspired idea that isn't just you doing a little bit of good in the world all on your own, but you are somebody who has an energy that will influence other people to join your cause, so to speak. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so in my shamanic training, one of the things that, we're encouraged to do is to hold a vision for a better future. And by holding that energy and holding space for that vision, energetically, we jump tracks. We jump off the track of whatever life is looking chaotically here and jump on this track of being in alignment with that vision so that we begin creating that reality instead of this other one. And that's what I feel you're capable of, but not just, personally in your life, but helping globally, helping people catch that vision of a better future, of a better way of doing things, and then holding that energy of what that looks like so that that reality can be manifested. Does this make sense?
Yes.
And so this is what I feel in you. I feel that you're energetically capable of holding space in such a big way that you can help things manifest globally the same way that little girl did. Is this making sense?
Yes.
Can you make the connections so that you can see how that is for you personally?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so it's just, I would just have you go a little deeper, as in sink into more of that. I'm comfortable in my own skin, and not just knowing things about yourself, but owning and living it. Because in that energy, that's when you start becoming this powerful catalyst for change. That's where you start showing up as this leader. And it's not necessarily everything having to happen in this big, grand way. It's daily actions. And in taking those daily actions, you're so spiritually connected that you get these really powerful ideas and inspirations. And then you have family history of having a lot of doers. You have a lot of people that take action in your family line. And so you also have that. And you're surrounded by, like, you have community people around you that have that energy. And so you're a powerful influencer because you're so loving, because you're so gentle, but you're like a queen who lives with her people, works with her people, walks with her people. You have this very queenly, ginormous soul, but you're so unassuming and graceful. And so it's like people are just drawn to you. They just magnetize to you. And that makes you a powerful influencer. And that's how you're affecting change, is through your everyday influence. Does this make sense?
Wow. Yeah. Thank you.
Is this
very
helpful?
much. This is really helpful. It's very grounding, and it definitely just honed me in more to like my just my power, I guess, in my present moment. And so thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
So it's just sitting in and just sinking more into that self-ownership. And then from that place, if it's meditation, whatever it is that gets you to listen to your heart, and then start owning what you get, as in you journal it, you write it, or at the very least, just keep it in your mind, your memory, so that you can start living from that and taking ownership and start getting that clear vision of your future, of your life, what you're wanting to create. Because then you're going to start finding the things that are in alignment with it. While you lack in that clarity, it becomes that conversation with the Cheshire Cat and Alice, when she's which road do I take? And the cat says, where do you want to go? And she says, I don't know. And he says, well, then it really doesn't matter, does it? Once you know where you want to go, then it matters which road you take. So that's when things will start to fall into place that are in alignment with where you're heading, instead of this just kind of sitting around. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for calling into the show. We appreciate your support.
Thank you so much. Very much. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much. Good night. Whew. Her energy is like fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the way that reading was. It just felt so empowering and so inspirational to me. I love when people call in and we get to have those experiences with them. It's so good.
Yeah. Everybody's in different places. Some people are in really big transition, big shifts of life. Other people, it's self-discovery. Some people, it's healing, but we all go through our version of that in different levels of that constantly.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite interesting during the break. I was chatting with Bill, one of our producers here on the show, on the station, and he shared something with me, and I was just like, no freaking way. Bill wants to come in and have a reading with us. And earlier today, I was thinking, with the events of the day and how they are, I wasn't quite sure how the show would go with having callers call in, because, everyone's either really not in a good place or they're out celebrating or whatever that looks like. And the first thing that came to mind was, well, if we don't have any callers, I'm going to ask Bill to hang out with us. And then here he is showing up, saying, if there's time, I would like just to have a reading with Misty tonight.
Yeah.
So Bill, we're going to bring you on. Hello.
I am here.
I love how that just worked out perfectly.
Well, I got to say, Amanda, Mandy, and Shakai, awesome callers tonight.
Great. Yes, absolutely.
Well, you know what I
Absolutely.
want? I'm not asking a question. I'm going to take the latter offer.
My favorite. That's my favorite.
Well, if you really want to know what's interesting, sometimes I've read Bill during the commercials or like before
You've
we
shared
start
with
or the
them.
end. Yeah. And it was like, I felt to do that, but our commercials were so zippity fast that it was like, well, I guess that's not meant to happen today.
Well, and the thing is about having readings with Bill on a commercial break is that you can't. There's just not enough time.
Yeah.
It's just like when you try to give me readings right before the show. We just don't have the time, unfortunately. But we have it now, and here's Bill, and he's looking for you to read his energy in this present moment.
Yes.
So I know I don't remember a lot of things, but when I engage with you, I keep feeling like since the first reading I gave you, I feel your brother.
Yep.
And that's been really strong today. And you know, it just, Bill, you're really good at thinking of other people and not necessarily thinking of yourself and putting yourself, you know, in a hard, kind of like between a rock and a hard place, because you're like really lenient with other people and their mistakes and very hard when you're the one making the mistake. And so it's like I feel like since I talked to you, I think it was the first time, I felt so many different shifts. But it feels like there's it's to reiterate the importance of you having self-forgiveness and self-patience, because it feels like a little bit of that being overly hard on yourself has been creeping back in. Does this make sense?
Yes. And actually, since that first reading, let me just make my mic up a little bit because I'm coming in a little low. Since that first reading, I have really thought about what you told me, and I have actually come to peace with myself and just concentrating on moving forward with my life and not looking back. So I'm more at peace. Yeah, I'm definitely more at peace now.
Now it feels like you're fine-tuning what you've developed, because it's now on the day-to-day of creating that same kind of grace for yourself as you're moving through the day-to-day. And then some of the stuff, there's some other things from the past that have kind of started surfacing. That's just looking for the same kind of resolution where you're able to give yourself that same kind of breathing room of forgiveness and understanding that you did the best that you could.
It's funny.
Does this make sense?
Yes, it's funny you say that, because about 2 days ago, one of my best friends growing up from the high school days called me, and we were having a conversation, and he brought up something, and I'm like, listen, I'm over that. I don't even want to discuss that anymore. I'm past that. But it's true. Somehow, some way, it's like a constant reminder, and I'm just past it. I'm totally right now thank God, I'm at peace with myself, and I'm able just to focus on the now and the immediate and potentially the future outward. So, you know, it's funny because people can criticize when this is just my perception of, and this, I'm just going to throw this in there. I know you're doing a reading, but when I'm speaking to you and you're telling me these things, first of all, you're on point. You're reading me, and you're giving insight to myself, and by you doing that is giving me the ability to look within myself And all that you're doing for not just me, but for anyone that you're working with is giving them something, I would say in the majority of cases, is giving them something positive to think about. And to be honest, it makes, I think, a lot of people walk away just feeling better about themselves after speaking with you. Because you have that appeal, you're soothing, you have that positiveness, and it's like life coaching, and that's something that you do. And for people, you can go see her website, Misty Rose Healing. Is that correct, Misty? The website?
Misty Rose's Healing.
Yeah, Misty Rose's Healing. So I appreciate when you do this to me because it really makes me look inward. And I think a lot of people don't do enough of the looking inward. And any guidance that you give me, I appreciate it wholeheartedly.
Thank you. That's the best birthday present. I love it.
Is it your birthday?
I love it. It was on Saturday.
Well, happy belated birthday.
It's her birthday week.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm adjusting to the birthday month. Might be birthday year. I don't know. We'll try it. But Bill, it's just fine tuning. It's just reinforcing. Because just like what you said, the thing came up. It's like things are popping up right now. Mm-hmm. And when something from the past is popping up, your ability to just reaffirm where you're choosing to be is healing. It's healing it. It's for you. Whether or not other people choose to heal in that process, that's completely up to them.
Right.
But that's not in your realm of control. And that's a little bit of the voice in your head at times to let go of, because in the past that's been a little bit of what was sinking your ship, is that little voice of, because the other person's out of your realm of control. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And so it's to keep redirecting yourself, because there is some changes coming quickly for you. And the reason why some of these changes are coming is because you've realigned yourself and you're shifting from what you used to be in alignment with to a totally different energy. And so you're just not able to stay on the same path that you've been on, because you're not at the same energy you were back then. It's like Einstein. You can't create the solution at the same level you create the problem. Well, you've shifted your energy, so now you're creating from a different place. So what fit you doesn't fit anymore. Right. And so there's these shifts that are starting to head your way and come, because you're confirming with each time you reaffirm what you've decided for yourself. You're owning that energy. You're not just visiting it and thinking, well, that would be great if I could live that way. You're living it, which keeps you in that energy. And the more you stay in an energy, the more you create at that level. So now you begin creating life at this level of energy. So things have to shift, because the energy you used to be at, the stuff that's in your life, just doesn't resonate with you anymore. And other things, you begin resonating with other things. So things will start to, it's funny, that's when we start going through a closet or a drawer or a room or the whole house, is because that energy no longer resonates with us. We find ourselves getting rid of things because it's like feng shui. It's an outer expression of our internal energy. And so friendships start to drift away. Relationships start to shift. And some people can get scared by that because they'll lose a close relationship, but it's simply because that person's energy is no longer in alignment with your energy.
100%.
And they don't want to change.
No,
so
I agree. 100%.
They remove themselves. And then somebody else comes that's in alignment.
It's funny because I think this can be said for a lot of people. The people that we know in the past, you get sometimes distance. It can be physical distance or just a lack of communication. But then, you engage with new folks and you feed off their energy and they feed off of yours. And I mean, there is a consistency there too. I mean, there are people that have been part of my life for a long time. There are people who've been a part of my life for a decade or shorter. But what you just said is true. I am at a point in my life where I'm looking at everything more, I would say, like under a magnifying glass. And I'm starting to fine tune those who I want to be close with and those that I want to distance myself from. And this has nothing to do with the politics and everything else. It's just their energy, the feeling I get from them. It's like I'm not feeling it. It's like with certain people, I'm just not feeling it like I used to. And it's what you just said is exactly true, because that's exactly what I'm going. And it's funny you said about I've been reorganizing my entire house the last few weeks, going through all my stuff, throwing stuff out. It's like I'm doing a complete overhaul. And that has to do with the whole energy thing that you just mentioned.
Yeah, it's because you made a integral internal shift from that first conversation. It was such an integral internal belief system that affected every part of your life. Mm-hmm. And since you made a totally different decision about all of that, it's created this domino effect.
Yes, but at the same time, Misty, I've always been I've always been honest, and I'm an open book. And I don't want to put a guard up. I don't, because it's not me. But it's at the point where I am starting to put a little shield. Because when you open yourself up, people can misread you, or they take advantage of that openness. It's hard for me to describe to you, but or maybe you get it. What I'm trying to say, but I'm finding myself a little bit more guarded now because I'm not so sure of intent, true friendships, what motives there are. For I would say for a lot of people, I already know. Like the person you had on before, Amanda. I love Amanda. She's like a sister to me. And like a person like that, yes, we go through our ups and downs. That's part of nature, is having a relationship with someone, with a friend. That's normal. But, like there's certain people that I will always have close to me and confide in. But at the same time, like I said, I'm starting to be a little bit more guarded with others.
Could I tweak your word for you?
Go ahead.
Boundaries.
Yes.
You're because you're in the beginning of creating totally different boundaries than you had before, you feel guarded. That's part of the first, because of all these different shifts. And what you're guarding is what you've gained. You don't want to go back where you were. So it's just you're working. It's like you just moved into a new house and there's no fence. You're trying to figure out where your boundaries are for this totally new landscape. So that's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's just your current experience, and you're navigating it and you're figuring some things out for yourself. And before you know it, you're going to have your new fence up.
It's going to take time.
And what that looks is totally up to you. I mean, some people, their fence looks like, 6-foot cinder block walls with barbed wire and guard dogs and machine gun guys at the top of them. Other people, it's a little white picket fence with a swinging gate. Totally up to you what your boundaries look like.
But the thing is, too, Misty, I'm at peace. In the true sense of spirituality, right now, I am in peace with myself. I'm like in a harmonic, vibrational, good sense of overall being. And I am actually liking that despite some of the difficulties I've had in recent weeks or months dealing with health issues or other types of issues. But I feel now that I can overcome them without being my typical overreactive, impulsive. Just calm down, deal with it. You're going to get through it. Just take it one step at a time. And I have a more calming sense of myself now, more control of myself. Because like you said, I am that kind of person. I like to help everybody. If I can, I will. I'll give them the shirt off my back. But at the same time, though, I'm starting to fall back a little bit. I'm starting to, I don't know if this is a middle-age crisis thing, Misty and AJ, but I'm starting to look at life a little bit more differently. And I feel more humble being where I'm at in my life right now, and grateful and thankful to God, to so many people, to everyone. And I'm just really at peace with myself, thankfully. And I feel really good right now. But I know that can change because, like you said, energy changes. But right now, I feel really good.
Energy can and does change. Life does constantly change. That's the one truth about life, is it's constantly changing. But what you're learning and what you're beginning to understand is through all of life's changes, peace isn't at the whim of life. Peace is something that can be constant while experiencing life. And that the way it is expressed varies. You will always have varying levels of peace and the way you exude it at any given moment. But what you've come to realize is that it is something that you can self-create. You don't have to wait for circumstances to give it to you or for somebody to give you permission to have it. You can have it right now, just like happiness. Self-created. You don't have to wait for circumstances. You don't have to wait for the bank account to be full. You don't have to wait for the neighbors to be kind. You don't have to wait for the relatives to be respectful. You can have all of that now. And that's how we're able to engage with people we love who are at a totally different place than we are. Because we don't have our peace and our happiness isn't dependent on their responses or behaviors. That's why we can be in different alignment with people, be totally in disagreement, and still be peaceful, still be loving, still be kind. And that's something that's lacking in the world at the moment. People look at disagreement as unable to give anything. And the only way you're able to get any of those happy things is if you're in agreement. And it's gotten to the extreme of a cancel culture now, where if you don't agree with me, then not only, do we defriend you on Facebook, but we begin attacking you verbally and making accusations and try and get you fired from your job. And in this environment, we need more of what you have, is the ability to self-create happiness and peace, so that you can witness where other people are and not personalize it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But unfortunately, I kind of went off on a little rant, and we're kind of running out of time. But I just want to say to both of you, I want to say to both of you, I appreciate both of you. I love every time when you guys do this show. And I just wanted to express that because I think a lot of people that listen, they can tell your energy and they can tell the positiveness that you're projecting out there. And I really encourage people when you're on every month to call in and to speak to you, because I'm telling you, it has helped me, like you said, off the air, and right now, temporary, for the quick thing right now, it always helps me to speak to you. And like I said, I thank you. I thank both of you. And I really...
we thank you. Thank you, Bill.
And we'll talk off air.
Yes, we'll talk
Definitely.
off air. I didn't mean to cut you off, but seriously, Bill, you're one of our biggest supporters, and we love that you get to assist in producing our show. It's just awesome. You're such a good fella.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Of course we have to talk off air. We've got to swap jokes.
Of course. Misty, repeat your website one more time in case people didn't get to hear it.
Misty Roses Healing.
The plural.
Plural roses.
And Misty is Misty.
Why?
So make sure you get that
because
right.
we love it.
And if you guys are interested, and if you're local in the area that we're in Utah, northern Utah, you can come and visit Misty at Vibes. And to see that schedule, you would just go over to vibeznow.com, which is VIBEZNOW.com. We have a lot of cool classes, and I've been saying it for a while. It's not just going to be local. Like, we are planning on putting them out into the world. We've been talking about it for some time. There is forward movement there. So for the listeners and those who are interested in being a part of that, I think this is the year. This is the year it's going to happen. So stay tuned for that. I don't have anything else to offer in regards to it at this point, but it is something very exciting to look forward to. Misty, thank you so much for your time tonight. It's been awesome, as usual.
As usual.
Thank you
It's
for
always a
bringing your
blast.
sparkles.
Definitely.
I love your sparkles. And for more information about this show, Soul Wanderings, visit soulwanderings.com, as well as kgradb.com. And make sure you guys are checking out that new website. There's so much there for you to see and experience. And I'm on all the social media platforms, so you can find those links over at soulwanderings.com. And email me, connect@soulwanderings.com. I love to hear about your experiences, or if you're interested in sharing your journey story here on the show, make sure you email me at connect@soulwanderings.com. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us tonight. Happy day.
That who I think it is?
Yep, sure is. Did you hear he ditched the man cave and brought back the study?
That's so sexy. I love it when a man is educated and informed.
He is so dreamy, always reading books and investigating history.
Where do you think he works out?
The library.
He is so controversial, always talking about 9/11 being an inside job, the police state, constitutional rights, ancient history, government cover-ups, and how he thinks sports don't matter in real life.
Oh, I love a freethinker who searches for truth. I love it when he feeds my brain. What's his name? Kristan T. Harris.
Tune in to The Rundown Live with Kristan T. Harris, Monday through Friday, 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on kgradb.com.